Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Today, I'm going to just focus on a few key common sense items for our agenda. Fighting crime, fixing our mental health system, and protecting New Yorkers' hard-earned money.
Governor Kathy Hochul delivering her State of the State address last night. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jamie Holmes in for Ann Emanuel. This evening, our Sonia Ellison has local reaction to the governor's remarks.
Governor Kathy Hochul gave her State of the State address live last night, where she focused on crime and public safety, mental health reform, and promised to save New Yorkers money.
Those are all good topics. The devil's in the details.
I didn't listen to it, but I think there should be less taxes.
Hochul acknowledged while public safety is still a popular concern, homicides have fallen 38% upstate. But bail reform remains unpopular.
The bail reform needs to be tweaked. I'm not all set about reforms because it was disproportionate to the poor, but maybe we opened up a little too much.
I think rehabilitation is good if they could get some good legitimate programs. Part of that is good, but I think it has to be at a review board so that they can know who is they're bailing out.
Hochul also vowed to support mental health care by directing funding to outpatient community-based services, creating more housing units and increasing inpatient psychiatric treatment capacity.
But how are they going to do that? And I'm not aware of the details of all of that because they may be cutting some programs that are essential to put in different programs.
Hochul highlighted student mental health, promising mental health clinics to schools requesting them. She also promised more social media guardrails put in place for minors so they would not be exposed to algorithms creating addictive feeds, which negatively impact mental health.
I have young grandchildren. And I agree with that. There's a lot of anxiety in schools right now.
Hochul is also promising insulin, housing, and consumer affordability, as well as improved maternal and infant mortality rates. The goals ahead of New York State have locals thinking.
So hopefully decisions are made based on evidence and not on just opinion.
Sonia Ellison, Big Fox News.
More than 2,500 people in Steuben County lost power during the windstorm. That according to NYSEG. Power was restored to most towns by about 6:15 p.m. There are still hundreds more without power from NYSEG and Steuben Rural Electric, with outages in Bath, Campbell, and Harnell areas, and there's no estimated restoration time. Strong winds continued today, and the Chemung River's waters are very high. Alicia Triplett will have more on your weather in a few minutes. Chemung County Sheriff's Office is warning about a current scam involving someone saying they're from the Sheriff's Office. The caller poses as Sergeant Paget and then says there is a warrant for that person's arrest, and they are requesting payment for bail money. These calls are fraudulent. Do not disclose personal information over the phone and do not send any type of payment. If you want to verify a call, call the Sheriff's Office. Hunter Biden made Republicans' heads spin after an unannounced visit to Capitol Hill on Wednesday. The president's son briefly sat in during the House Oversight Committee's hearing meant to hold him in contempt. Rebecca Castor has more from Washington.
An unexpected visitor on Capitol Hill Wednesday.
Do you regret involving your dad in your business?
The president's son showing up to a meeting where lawmakers were discussing whether he should be held in contempt of Congress for skipping a scheduled deposition on his business dealings.
Who bribed Hunter Biden to be here today? That's my first question. Second question, you are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena.
Republicans calling Hunter Biden's appearance a, quote, political stunt. But his lawyer says GOP lawmakers are the ones pulling tricks.
Republicans have sought to use him as a surrogate to attack his father. We have offered to work with the House committees to see what and how relevant information to any legitimate inquiry could be provided.
But Hunter Biden doesn't want to answer lawmakers' questions behind closed doors, even though Republicans say the transcripts will be made public. The president's son is facing 2 criminal indictments related to tax fraud and gun charges, but lawmakers want to know if his family, including the president, benefited from his business dealings.
Mr. Biden, why did you put your dad on speakerphone with your business partners if he had no involvement in your business?
Do you have a dad? Did he call you?
Yes.
Did he answer the phone?
Yes.
Okay.
From D.C. to Los Angeles, Hunter Biden is scheduled to make his first appearance in California Thursday for his tax charges case. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Time is running out again. Another government shutdown is looming, but familiar fault lines have reappeared, and suddenly lawmakers who were totally opposed to funding the entire government without funding the southern border are flexing their muscle. Carolyn Shively has the latest from Washington.
The countdown to a shutdown has begun in Washington. If Congress can't cut a deal by January 19th, 20% of the federal government will close, with the rest running out of money on February 2nd.
The stakes are very high for the country, and everybody knows that.
If there's no deal by the end of next week, Food and Drug Safety Services, some veterans assistance, and the Department of Transportation will shut down.
We are all working nonstop right now to get this done, but we are obviously crunched for time.
Top lawmakers in the House and Senate announced a tentative $1.66 trillion agreement over the weekend. But hard-right conservative Republicans in the House are demanding more budget cuts and a border deal.
Either shut the border down or we'll take the consequences.
Democrats are pushing back.
They are MAGA radicals, extremists, whose benchmark for success is paralysis, gridlock, chaos.
But neither side can do it alone. In the Senate, each appropriation bill needs the support of at least 60 members. In the House, Republicans only have a 2-seat operational majority, and they're split about what to do next.
Frankly, some people are, they're not going to be happy with anything.
If the government does shut down, defense and other essential operations will continue. But the government workers who have to stay on the job to do them won't get paid until Congress cuts a deal. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
A brawl between police and a group of worshipers broke out over a secret tunnel under a New York City synagogue. A group of Hasidic Jewish people were arrested while trying to defend a makeshift passageway connected to the Chabad Lubavitch headquarters in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn. Although it's unclear why or when the hole was created, it was uncovered when neighbors reported hearing suspicious noises below their homes. One member of the community says a cement truck arrived to make repairs, which led to the incident. The building is closed until it undergoes a structural safety review. A man had to be rescued in Pennsylvania after his truck got surrounded by rising water as a powerful storm moved through parts of the Northeast. Rescue crews waded through the fast-moving water and used a small boat to bring that man to safety.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening. After a quieter step into 2024, conditions have been ramping up. We even see that as we look at our 5-day precipitation total, not including today, does get us just over that inch marker. Today, we did have a few tenths of an inch with some spotty precipitation, and we will continue to talk about that chance there as we're going to hold underneath some overcast skies. A low tonight dropping down to about 29. What we will note is that some spots of snow will be seen over the next 24 to 36 hours. What we'll see is that there is going to be a wave sliding on through. Even some triggered lake effect is in place across areas of New York. Very light accumulation, low impacts expected, but we are going to be steering a lot of our attention towards the next storm as there is some uncertainty. There has been some shifting of this low pressure system, of its direct impact, its amounts. What we will note though is that we're at least going to get some times of precipitation, potentially both types. And then behind that system, we are going to be talking about some gradual cooling that will eventually usher in some Arctic air by next weekend. So definitely getting more of that winter-like feel here. Now, as we roll throughout our Thursday, again, it's not going to be a snowy day, but we'll see some spots of some snow showers come out of those overcast skies with temperatures hovering within those 30s, just topping off at about 44 high as we're underneath much lighter winds after some blustery conditions the last few days. Now, we see here as we roll through the forecast, there's those overcast skies in place. And then here's that weak wave that could allow for a few flakes to be found as we head throughout the day, maybe a mix due to highs hitting those lower 40s. But overall accumulation expected to be minor. You could see a little bit of lake effect there possible. But when we look at the numbers on the board, lots of goose eggs. So nothing that is expected to be significant. Maybe a few spots, some especially elevational areas that may walk away with a few tenths of an inch, but all staying under, again, impacts that should be very, very minor. little to none. Before we get to that next event, though, that is going to arrive as we head into Friday night. So Thursday, underneath those overcast skies, a shake of a snow shower or wintry mix with highs ranging anywhere from those mid-30s to those lower 40s. We'll head into Friday, starting off the day quiet with even potentially some areas of some sunshine and a stronger southerly flow tapping in, which is going to push more of our temperatures within those 40s, even mid-40s there for Elmira and Corning. And then by end of day, showers will start to push in, potentially wintry mix depending on timing with that next system. This next system is also associated with those strong winds like we saw with that last one. So even seeing peak wind gusts on Friday, anywhere from 35 to 45 miles per hour, and expected to hold those winds not only just for Friday, but through Sunday. That is going to start to initiate some of that cooling that will bring us from showers to more snow showers. And then that gradual cooling will continue as we roll into next week and potentially be even bitterly cold by the weekend.